welcome to Youth Awake.
Touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord, touch me, Lord. I'm nothing without you, oh God. Touch me, Lord. I need you, touch me.
Thank you for joining us tonight on Youth Awake. We are live on the studios of ADINKRA Radio.
God.
Don't forget, we're live every Thursday night, 11 p.m. up 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern.
And then say, the touch me, Lord.
Thank you for joining us wherever you are tonight. It's Right Living. We have some wonderful guests in the studio. In the next 2 minutes, I'll introduce them to you so we can start our conversation.
Breathe on me.
Please share the page if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, share the link as well. Share it to a friend. Invite a friend to join us.
In your hand, now, breathe on me. Your touch now. I need your move now. I need your hand now. Breathe on me. I need your touch now. I need your move now. I need your hand now. Breathe on me.
Thank you for joining us wherever you are. And then again, it's another wonderful night. Mohammed, thank you for joining us on Facebook. Michael, thank you for joining us on Facebook as well. If you're watching on YouTube as well, don't forget the link is the name is ADINKRA, ADINKRA TV. That's ADINKRA TV on YouTube. My name is always Pastor Rev, and I'm ready to take you through the next hour or so live on the radio. So without much ado, I want to introduce my guests for tonight. Tonight we have some very, very cool dudes in the house. I've known this brother for I don't know how many years, and then he's one of my best friends now. I don't know how I've come, but yeah, he's pretty cool. He's very generous. He's very, very loving and giving, and he has a very sweet spirit. And so we connected, and then I'm so excited that he's happy to be here. He didn't come alone. He came with his better half, if I may say that as well, here with us. And so we're going to talk. We're going to reason. We're going to have conversation. I want to also invite you into the conversation if you're watching. If you're on Facebook, leave a comment. If you have a question, you can put it on Facebook. We're going to throw the questions to them. And then if you're watching on YouTube, do so as well. I'll check you out on YouTube as well. And then we can, share ideas and see how best we can. So call everybody, tell everybody that Youth Awake, we are live and we are live for Christ. And my guests for tonight, welcome to the studios, Sandy and Johanna. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, you guys got to sit up a little bit and speak into the camera, into the microphone. How you guys doing?
We're great. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Oh, so at least you say nice words. I mean, it's true. I'm not saying anything that is not true. I'm saying the truth. Right? Oh, I gotta put your mic. Okay, now we can hear you. So
Hello.
Start again. Now we can hear you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, thank you. Thank you for having us here. You
Yeah.
know,
Our song was a little low.
pleasure to be.
Pleasure to be. Why you keep
He's
laughing,
always
man?
laughing. You should know that.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be happy at the time.
Yeah.
you
All
know?
right.
You gotta
So
be happy.
I mean, you got beautiful girl by your side. You gotta be happy, of course. You're not gonna be sad. But yeah. So welcome to Youth Awake. It's a show that we do for the youth, the young people, empower them, let them know that hey, it's possible to make it. Teach them about the Lord, the same grace that we've had, the salvation that we've had. We share it out to them, and I believe that people are blessed, and I believe tonight is gonna be another blessing. All right. So let's introduce ourselves. So start from the lady or the guy. Who goes first?
Sandy.
Sandy goes first. All right.
Ladies first. Well, my name is Sandy Alberto. I'm an EMT. I work in the Westchester area, and I work with my buddy over here at times. So that's why I've met him for I think it's been past 4 years, I
Yeah,
believe.
about
So yeah, that's all about me. Anything else you want to
About
know?
your family, where you grow up. I mean, we'll get into a lot of things, but yeah.
Oh, I mean, I was born in the Dominican Republic. I was raised here. came here at a young age. I was like around 4 years old when I first came to this country, and from there on, started my life here with my mother and my brother and our other family members. It's been great so far.
All right, Miss Johanna.
Oh, you already said my name. So I'm Joanna.
So it's not Johanna. It's how you say it?
Well, in English is Johanna,
Uh-huh.
but in Spanish is Joanna.
Okay.
Whichever way you want to say.
Without the age.
What do I say?
Introduce yourself.
I don't know. I graduated college 2 years ago. I will be going to medical school in the summer. And I also was born in DR and came when I was 9 years old. And here I am. I also work with Sandy and Nee at a vaccine site right now.
You
Yeah.
mentioned- All right, cool. So
Pastor Ryan.
easily, family. Are you guys? Again, it's a Christian show. Are you guys from a Christian background? Are you born in the church? Do you attend church? Let us know something about that. Then we can get into our conversation.
Well, yeah, me and my part, I was born and raised to the Christian Catholic faith. From a very young age, I was baptized when I was like 2 months old, and from there on, my life from the very beginning all the way until now has been just brought up on a very strong Christian Catholic faith, like a very, strong, strict on very good morals and values that I appreciate to this day and that I wish to, one day pass on to my kids.
Right.
So for me, I didn't really grow up with a very religious family. I started going to church like around age 12 because my grandmother started taking me to church, and that's how I began getting involved in the Catholic Church and so on. And until this day, here I am. And that's where we also met each other.
Talking about church and family and stuff. Do you think it has helped in your upbringing in a way? Because we live in the 2021 now, where the mindset of our young people is not about church. It's live my life, make my money, and just start my life, go on. Has the upbringing that you like, Sandy? You were saying that it's very strict and brought up in a particular way, and even you want to even live it for your children. So, has it made a difference in your life versus other people who didn't have that kind of upbringing, and if so, how?
For me, yeah, because it's given me a sense of what I want to do in life, mainly, I use my mother as an example. She's very, really into her faith. She knows a lot about it, and she really works. She just doesn't, attend church on Sundays, but, she'll go to services, 7 days a week. She'll go to the hospitals and visit strangers, or help out people on the streets. So, seeing that from her, she does it without fear. Before I'm going, she does it without fear. So knowing that is like something that I want to do in life is be able to, whatever it is, help others. I think that's what I want to be able to do all the way until the day that I die. But it's helped me become the man who I am. It's helped me, view life differently, and just I'm grateful for it. So I'm great.
So for me, it actually blends in with the title of the night today, like right living.
Right.
I was just a teenager when I started going to church, but I wasn't really living right. Maybe not behaving good at home and stuff like that. And going to church actually helped me, become a better person and just live right by God's standards.
Right. I want to bother you a bit because you mentioned that he said he started church but you mentioned you started later or you were not in the church. So what happened? Did you meet Jesus on the way going somewhere, or what was your big connection that brought you out? I'm sure it's going to be a blessing to somebody out there.
You mean what was the specific?
Yeah,
moment?
how did you transition from whatever it was until becoming very, going to church and becoming very serious with things like that? Yeah.
Well, like I said, my grandmother was the one that started taking me to church and so on, on Sundays. And I used to go with her, and then I started taking like Saturday class for my sacraments, and then that's how it all started. And then I attended a retreat, like a youth retreat from Sandy's church, and that's where I actually, like really, felt Jesus' presence and just felt him speak to me. And then I just felt like I needed to change the way I was living. That was really the moment, that weekend. you
Right,
know.
right. So, it's you know, most people um want to live their life, and when I say their life, live how they want to live, and hopefully one day when they get to their old age, they go to Christ or they go to God or something like that. You guys have been in the church since 2 years old. Since I don't know how old you were very young. Um, what was did you have any pressures? Did you have any people laughing at you? How was it like deciding at such an early age? Because most people wait from 25 and I'm switching is easy. I know what to tell my friends, I know what to tell my family, but if at that young age, do you have any external issues with friends? It's time to go clubbing, it's time to go out, but then I got Saturday church, I got event or youth meeting. How was it like? Like, what are some of your experiences?
For me, it hasn't really been a problem like that, because when I was in high school, I had some friends that were already going to that church that Sandy was part of. Like, they were going to that retreat, and they invited me and everything. So for me, it hasn't really been a problem. And like my friends now, if we ever plan something like for the weekend, and it falls on a Sunday, or I tell them like I need to go to mass first and whatever, and I just make adjustments, to just make everything fit well.
Oh, mine is a little bit different. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, my whole life, revolved around church. It was all my friends were growing up were from church. And then all I did growing up as a kid was go to church, play baseball. Obviously, I'm Dominican. Um, and go to school. I was not the type, to go out to parties or to clubs. So I didn't get to experience that life
Right.
at a young age. And if I did ever go to a party, it was like once, you know. But honestly, all my friends, they all respected. We all share the same faith, and even the ones, who didn't go to church, like the ones who I ended up playing baseball with growing up, you know, they were Catholic. They were Christian Catholic as well, but they weren't really like into it. Like they never went to church on a Sunday. They never actually practiced their religion.
Right.
But they were very respectful, of it. Like. So I think that it also helped that I grew up in a neighborhood where it's mainly Dominicans, where
Right.
we all, respect each other's, I guess, beliefs, and mainly our country's like mainly Christian Catholic for the most
Right.
part, so.
It's interesting. I know we're gonna get into the relationship. Most people online are waiting for that, but we still got time. So let's build. Culture wise, because you guys are from a way different um, culture, from where maybe I'm from, some of our viewers and some of our listeners. Both of you were born in DR, right?
Yes.
So, I, I, how do I put it? Adapting into the American culture, because what we have here as young people growing up is a whole different story. Sandy just mentioned he's never been to a party before. He's never all this other stuff. What were your experiences like being Christian and also trying to adapt and not be left out of things that are happening? Because if I'm in school and the whole team is going out to do something, I want to be part of it. I don't want to be the lone person out and can't do nothing. But then I also want to do it and do it right, like our conversation for today, right living. So, what were some of your experiences or some of your things that you did, or some personal ways that you used to overcome some of these things?
Well, I mean, in my situation, I really wasn't exposed to that, to that lifestyle with, with the party and all that stuff. So I didn't really know, that it was out there, in reality. For me, I was good enough, playing sports, which is like the thing that I love to do the most in the summer times, and then going to church and seeing people that I know. But obviously as a kid, going to church is not the first thing on your mind. You know,
Right.
you just want to play and, you know, go to the park and do stuff. But in terms of parties, I only, you know, got to like really know about them, you know, when I reached like high school or like middle school to high school, you know. So I really wasn't exposed to that lifestyle even at home. It was just, you know, no alcohol, you know, no, it was very, you know, respectful, you know, place. So I wasn't like, you know,
You never
how
got
do I say?
tempted, right?
I was never tempted.
Right.
I didn't know, I didn't know it existed like in a way for me
Right.
to say, oh, was that really something that I need, you know?
Right. You have a different angle.
I was just gonna say it's not that I went to a lot of parties compared to Sandy. Okay, I did not. Like I did not go to one party during college at all. The one for orientation. That's the only one that I went to. Because my mom didn't really let me go out like that. You know, I just mean like going out with friends. You know, just to eat or something. And I was gonna say that when I started going to church after the retreat that I mentioned, you know, we had youth meetings like every Friday, and I was always excited to be part of that every Friday. I never missed it, so it really didn't bother me or my friends. Like I was there every single Friday. My mom just told me like just move to the church because you're like there every day,
Right.
you know.
Last question before we go into how you guys met and stuff like that. So, will you say that the church has played or should play an important or vital role in the upbringing of the young people of our age? And well, we are in our 20s, so we are not that young anymore. But the teens and stuff like that. Do you think the church has a role to play in their upbringing and making sure that they don't get wayward? Because we see most people, Africans, Dominicans, people shootings, and especially living in New York City. So, do you think, or is there a role that the church should play in helping our young people, grow up the right way and make a good living of themselves?
I mean, I think so, you know, because the way I see it, you know, even though I think your first education, they say, starts at home, you know, I think the church is a key part, you know, with that, you know, what we learn, you know, good morals and good values as well. And the way I see it, you know, if there's programs out there that the government does or there's other that schools, you know, they do outreach to teens, so they have these big brother, big sister
Right.
programs as well, you know, then why shouldn't we, you know, why shouldn't the church also have something like that for teens, right? None of these programs are forced on kids, you know, but it's just something that, you know, should be offered, you know, a bit more because, you know, it helps us understand, you know, life better, helps us to have a better meaning, you know, and it shows us more on how to, you know, love our neighbors, you know, because a lot of times, you know, we don't learn that from our families, you know, we come from different backgrounds, we have different struggles, so I feel like the church is another, you know, home for
Right.
us.
Right.
I also agree. Like as far as our church, for example, you know, there's always things to do, like the youth group, retreats, and many other activities. We used to be leaders of the youth group also, and you know, we used to make trips like to the movies, any kind of activity with the kids. And for me, you know, the church really helped me to be sane, like you know, a sane kid,
Right.
being a teenager with a single mom, you know, living in the heights. You know, it really kept me, you know, the right path.
Right. All right. Now let's get into the things that people want to talk about: relationships and all that. First of all, how do y'all meet? Who's gonna take that? The girl or the guy?
She knows the story more than I do.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
So, we met in church. It was not the retreat that I was talking about earlier, was it? No, it wasn't that one. It was another retreat. I remember I was sitting in the same table with Sandy, and I just kept looking at him, but he did not make any contact with me. And then, you know, we just started talking after that. You know, we were just part of the youth group. He wasn't really like into me or anything, or just like we
Not
were
at all.
friends at all. You know, we're just friends, and we spent a lot of time like in the youth group and at other church activities. And you know, after a few months, he decided, you know, to start something, to take their friendship to another, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she's not saying the full story. Little by little,
That's what I
you know,
remember.
little
Tell
by
us the full
little,
story.
little by little, she was, you know, trying to making it more obvious that she was into me, But I could be a shy person at times, and I wasn't really into her, I even told her, like, I've always wanted a little sister, maybe we could have that.
Yeah, he was telling me he looks at me like a sister. I'm like, what?
I'm like, but then I spoke to some good friend of ours from church, they've been good mentors to us, and she told me, that you don't always find you don't know if you're gonna find a good woman, and that she's a good woman, so you don't know if you're gonna find somebody else like her.
Right.
Why not give it a shot? I'm like, all right, this was my first, real relationship, because I wasn't, into that
Right.
relationship thing, because again, at home it was just, you shouldn't have a girlfriend until you're like 18, 20, 21,
Yeah.
until you're ready and set, so I had that mentality, but yeah, I decided to give it a shot. I'm like, okay, whatever, let's see where this goes, and I guess here we are,
Yep. 2 months to go.
2 months.
2 months to go.
So, you mentioned church. I've got 2 questions, but let's start with the church aspect. How difficult or easy was it being in a relationship in church? Was it? Do you have struggles? Was it? Oh yeah, everything's fine. You guys are fine. How did it go? Because you also mentioned, but let's start with this one first.
For me, I think it was a little bit hard because of the age gap.
Okay.
Okay, but that has nothing to do
But I mean, no. But being from the same church, people talk.
Exactly.
Yes, nobody in church is perfect. So I think the first thing that I was a little bit worried about was the age gap, because she was 17 and I was 22. I mean, that's a 5-year gap.
Well, when you're 17, it kind of is.
Right.
So I think that was the main thing that crossed my mind. But other than that, it wasn't too difficult. At home, it was a little difficult, but it wasn't too difficult at church for me. I don't know if she has a different experience in that.
Right.
I'll say it is difficult, because since you're already in church and you're, in God's path, you have certain standards by which you're supposed to live by.
Right.
So, you can't just live your life, like any regular person. There's things that we know we're not allowed to do, and,
Yeah.
But I think, like, I'm glad and grateful that we're part of church, and that it's part of our relationship, the center of our relationship, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way,
So are you saying you just blindly close your eyes to everything anybody says, or?
What do you mean?
Because again, you're
Oh.
17.
Oh yeah,
So-
I mean, I do.
Coming from I'm sure you guys will have. When we talk, most of the things that we do are similar. Our backgrounds are pretty similar, Africans
Yeah.
and you guys. Yeah. So it's a whole different ball game altogether. Oh, that girl. Have you had that girl in the church is dating this guy? Have you heard about that? All that. What do you guys was a couple? You decide, okay, let's just shut everybody out, and
I mean,
people would like joke about it all the time, mainly to him, like his friends. Not really to me. Like, oh, you're really dating her. She's in high school. You're 22. I was really in high school, like my junior year. Yeah. It really didn't bother me that much. But
Yeah.
I think it made him feel uncomfortable a little bit. But
I mean, I thought about it a lot, but I didn't let it bother me. Like internally it did, but externally I didn't really pay mind to it, because I don't really care what people think about me. I mean, regardless, I gotta live my life. So I didn't really pay too much mind to it.
And then number 2, home. Coming from home, because I'm a youth pastor. I hear all these things all the time, and sometimes my head hurts. And this parent complaining to you that this boy in the youth or this young guy in the youth is calling my daughter at 10 p.m. and it's late, and so those kind of things. So from home, I first of all, are your parents in the same church with you, all of you guys?
What?
Are your parents in the same church with you guys?
I mean, we share the same faith, but we don't watch the same
In the
exact
same-
church.
Okay, actually church.
Same.
All right, so maybe you don't have, but the adults in the church, what was the reception? My aim at the end of this is to show to our viewers and our listeners that it is possible to go. My parents met in church. Most of the older people I know and or my church, my bishops, most of them they met their spouse in church. But gradually we are moving from that angle where we're going outside to go and meet other people because of the notion that you can be seen with somebody standing in the church, and so that's my hope is that we can see that it's possible, and you guys have made it, and it's beautiful. So, what was the reception like from the adults in the church? You spoke about the young people. They laugh at you. She's in high school and stuff like that. What about the adults, the pastors, the priests?
Oh yeah, it was some.
Yeah.
They were mainly adults. It wasn't like the kids or anything.
Mm.
It was mainly adults from church, even like some priests and stuff like that. But
I mean, I thought everybody was very accepting about it, you know. I don't really remember how the reception was with the adults, to be honest, because, we the only time we were spending church together was like activities and missions we would do, like, our church plans to DR,
Right.
But other than that, we wouldn't be in church all the time, but only if there was activities, but. So I don't really remember the reception. I don't think it was too bad.
no, it really wasn't. We were
I think it was pretty
maybe
good.
like 3 people.
All right, right, Levin. Now, how do we do dating relationship the Christian way? I have this series I put in my book that I don't know what I say with Dominica, so you let me know if it's true. But African parents, 12 years, don't go anywhere. You stay home. 14, don't go anywhere. Stay home. You're a little kid. You're 15. You stay home. You're 16. You go to college. You stay home. You're a little girl. Don't go to any party. You're a good girl. 18, then 20. 21, you're still young, you have finished your school, do your master's degree, then the young girl becomes 25 years old, has never been in a relationship before, doesn't know how to talk to any boy, doesn't know how to even say hi to a guy. Then the parents switch. When are you getting married? Are you not going to bring any boy to the house? Are you not going to show us any guy? Who are you dating? Are you a gay? Don't you talk to boys? So they don't give the young children or the growing up child room to breathe, to even know how to do some of these things, and they expect you. And so most people, and when I talk to them, I'm talking to a lot of people in first year, second year of marriage, and they're already fed up because they just went from being very single to my mom says I should get married, so I just found somebody, and the first person I see on my door, I get married to a person. So there's no relationship, there's no getting to know the person, there's no building friendship, there's nothing. It was just from staying home, being locked under your mom's care, thrown into a man's house. So, I don't know what is the same. First of all, is it the same thing with you guys? Do the parental pressure of keeping you in, and then there's an explosion of go get married?
Not at all. I think.
Not in my case.
No, not
at
in
all.
your case, but in the culture.
I think it depends on the family. It does happen. It does happen in our country, but I think it happens all over the world.
Right.
I think it depends. I've seen it happens to some of my friends. But overall, I think it's just as normal as everywhere else, or maybe there's other places who make actually a more big deal of it than us. But
Yeah, it varies. Like he said, it depends on the parents. Like during high school, I had friends that her parents wouldn't ever let her go out. I'm like, and she was older than me. And I'm like, it really depends. But not every Dominican family is like.
yeah, like if my mom had a daughter, she would be kind of like that,
Right.
but she wouldn't pressure her into getting married. It would just be like, no boyfriends, no going out to parties or clubs, even if you're 18, even if you're 19, even if you're 21, she would be at home, like, but the good thing about my mom is she teaches us, she taught us how to, be respectful. Maybe not how to talk to women, but I feel like when you learn how to, be respectful, that's enough, to start off,
Right.
how to talk,
So what was the idea? Well, with you guys, since we're talking about you guys, and then hopefully people can learn from that. Once you guys decided, so 17, 21, 22, did you bring the folks in straight away? As in the parents in, so then everybody knows that, hey, this is what is happening, or...
Yeah.
So yes.
That we did.
For me, I had to tell my mom, obviously. And then when I told her he was 22, at that age I was 17.
Right.
She went a little nuts. She was like, what? But she was fine with it. She just told me, I'll just bring him to the house. She cooked for us and everything, and he just she just spoke to Sandy and told him to take care of me and exchange phone numbers and stuff. And that's it.
Yeah. Me, I was a little nervous. I was 22, but yeah, I was nervous to talk to my mom about her because, and she met her, I think, once or twice, because I know how, my mom is. I've never, grown up, talked back to my mom or raised my voice.
Right.
It's always been very, respectful and strict and okay, yes, ma'am, you know. So I was nervous to talk to her about it, because I know how she was. Not in a bad way, but she gave me good advice when I ended up talking to her. Regardless, she was just saying, make sure she's the right one. No sex before marriage.
Right.
This and that. Make sure this. Pray about it. You sure? Stuff like that. Everything she told me was based off, like what I was taught, and
Right.
what the faith teaches as well.
So, whilst we are talking, we're also helping young people watching. We have people on Facebook. Auntie Akos, thank you for joining us. Brother Lamdi, thank you for joining on Facebook as well. I can't mention your name. Is it Cat Carl? Thank you for joining us as well, and thank you for watching. So, what will you tell a young couple in your situation? The met in, because the point is sometimes we let it look as if you can only meet somebody when you're in your 25 or 26. You can meet someone when you're 14, and that person becomes your soulmate. So, based on, I don't want to, we're on air, but the other side, those who, they're white people and stuff like that. 13 years, you can bring your boyfriend to your house. It's different. But from where we come from, it's a whole different story. So, what's going to be your advice to a young couple that they just met each other, and then how should they go about it to make it to where you guys are and how you guys are going?
I mean, we don't have the perfect relationship, and obviously, what works for us doesn't work for everybody else. I feel like, when you pray about things, when you really try to get closer to God, you get to know more about each other. I had a friend tell me about what is it, the love triangle? When you make a triangle, you're on one side and your wife is on the other side, or your girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And God is on the top, and the closer you both get to God, the closer you get, to each other.
Right.
So I feel like that also, works for us we when we pray together, we just have this sense of peace, and love, for each other. We're not perfect, but we obviously try our best, to follow everything that the faith teaches, because I feel that's what we want to, teach our kids, right? We want to make sure that what we do together, and learn from each other as we grow is what we want our kids to see from us. So that's something also that you have to talk to your girlfriend, or if it's your wife, about, if you're young, you talk to your girlfriend, you have to have a conversation about it, about, where do you want your relationship, to lead? Like, what do you want out of this relationship, And I feel like that's what we did. Eventually, we ended up talking about, okay, well, what's our plan? Do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? Because if we don't share those views, then, the relationship's not going to go anywhere, right?
Right.
If I don't want to have kids, but she wants to have kids, then it's not going to work out, So I think the same thing goes when you talk about your faith. Well, I guess we're both Catholic, but do you go to church? I go to church. What do you want to do in life? Like, stuff like that. I feel like you mainly, not just pray about it, but you also just talk about it, have a conversation with your significant other about,
Miss Johanna, you want to say something?
Like you were saying, you could be any age, to meet your other half or whatever. You don't have to be 20, 30 or whatever. I was 17, obviously. But what helped us was that we were in church. And, our relationship...
I like the fact that you said that it was in church. So
Yeah.
it changes the dynamics of the game.
Especially since I was 17 and he's 22.
Right.
You
Right.
know, like, a lot of things that can happen there, right?
Right.
It happened in church. We have share the same faith, same values, obviously maybe he had more values than I did, like from the church, because he grew up in the church. But even though I had like maybe just a few years being in the church, I was like really, on top of everything. It really helped me. Well, both of us, that we had God in the center of the relationship at that young age, and the relationship started the right way. And throughout the years, we just stayed in the right path. With God in the center, just trying to make the best out of it. Not perfect, like he said, but by God's grace, we're here together and almost getting married.
All right, I have this question from WhatsApp. Says about parenting. Tell us something you will do that your parents did not do, or something that your parents did that you will not do to your kids.
Oh, something that my parents did and not do to my
Or
kids.
the other
Oh,
way.
you go first.
I gotta think.
All right, so what y'all think about that? We're gonna go into to something else, and then right? Or
I mean, I can answer. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of things that my mom did that I want to pass on to my kids. But there's some things that I would change. They're minor things, like eating in your room. I don't think it's a big deal, but
you're gonna bring ants and roaches to the
but
room, man.
huh?
You're gonna bring ants and roaches to the
Well, as
room.
long as we clean it up. But that's just one of the minor things. That's a joke in the side. But I think one of the main things that my mom did with me that I would do is, eating as a family. I think that's, very, very important. One thing that I wouldn't do that my mom did, geez, that's a. I know
Don't get in
that.
trouble if she's watching, so she can't be sure.
Or somebody
Well,
else.
she
will
doesn't
tell
speak
her.
English, but she's
Somebody
Spanish
can tell
only.
her, I'm sure.
But I mean, she knows. I've told her many times. When I have the chance of having these deep conversations with my mom,
Right.
she talks a lot, but they're very deep
Like Sandy.
conversations.
He talks about
I talk a lot too. But I've told her, look, there are certain things that that I'm not gonna have my kids do or teach them that you taught me, because I kind of disagree with that whole idea. But when it comes back to me, I'll let you know.
Finish it off.
You have you thought of something yet, or
Oh, well, for me, it's gonna be something that my mom didn't do, or I guess my family overall, that I would do with my kids, and that's just like bringing me to church and teaching me more about God, and But I don't blame my family or my mom, because she didn't have that herself, so she can't really pass that on to me. But I love her.
Oof, I got it.
Mommy.
Sleepovers. That's one. My mom would never let me sleep over at a friend's house. I feel like if I know the parent and I know the kid enough, I think I would let my kid sleep over.
all right? Let's get into the hard stuff.
Oh man.
Who lies the best?
Who lies the best?
Sandy.
I think me.
Yeah. So you accepting that you're a liar?
Maybe
Very
because
lies.
I say a lot of little lies. I think
A lot of little lies.
I think I'll say myself. I'll agree with that.
Who's the funniest?
Hi,
Oh,
Sandy.
definitely me.
Yeah.
My
I think
sense
that
of-
she got some jokes, man, on the line. She's got some jokes.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
have a sense of humor. Like
A little. Not as much as him, but
I mean, if you stop taking my gloves and taking my stuff, that's fine. But all right, if you're watching on Facebook, please you can send a comment. You can somebody says, and Juliana Favor says, "God bless you both."
oh, thank you.
Johanna Sylvester says, "I love you too."
that's my mom.
Oh, that is the key. God is the center. Says bless you. Somebody says God bless you again. So I mean,
you.
people are saying God bless you. I think it's a good thing. Do we say that you guys are almost 2 months away? Are we allowed? We're not in one air.
Yeah.
2 months and a half.
2 months and a half, yeah. And I'm coming to your wedding, so it's gonna
Yay.
Yeah. Here you go.
be. I have to be there. It's gonna be powerful. I mean, for the last 5 minutes, we'll talk about some of these things, pressures and getting married at a young age and everything. But for now, let's still, building. How long you been dating?
So I was 17, so that 2014 is when we started dating.
7 years.
Yeah,
21.
About 7 years.
7 years. I'm not gonna ask why that long because it makes sense. You're not gonna get married at 17 years old, so you had to.
True.
Live. But within the process of going that long, challenges, because you meet people like, oh, once I'm with you for 2 years and you don't propose to me, you don't get married to me, then you don't like, now I'm gonna move on. Was there a conversation that says, hey, you know, we are young and we got a long way to go, so let's take our time? Like, what was the whole process like?
No, I don't think that was a challenge for us. I think we were both very patient about it. I mean, she did eventually start saying, hey, you know, but I think she was mainly more
Not-
joking about it.
Yeah, not like, rushing
But,
or anything.
you know, I think the biggest challenge in 7 years, and I'll be, I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on the air, but I think when it comes to, our bodies and our sexuality,
Right. It's an open show, yeah.
the sexuality, that's when you go 7 years, without, having any form of
Yep.
sex.
That's a lot.
I think, there's a lot of temptations out there. There are a lot of temptations. So I think that's one of the biggest and hardest challenges that we have faced.
Yeah, and so everybody has to, if you're going to go in for the long haul, you have to understand some of these things, right? Is that what you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both understood it, but just because we understand it doesn't mean that it's, that it's not going to be hard,
Right.
It's definitely going to be very,
Right.
very, difficult.
Okay.
But hey, we've made it so far.
Yeah.
We made it this far, I guess, hopefully.
So hopefully.
Unbelievably.
Yeah.
I mean, we still got 2 months, so hopefully.
You wanna go?
What was the question?
Challenge.
How the long haul.
The long haul.
I mean, for a girl, hey, I'm sure you get some bridesmaids who are like, when am I gonna be with the bridesmaid? I got my dress, I got my shoes.
I never had people rushing me, honestly. My mom told me something a few years ago. She's like, "Oh, you're gonna get married when her granddaughter, which is my niece, when she's 5, and she's actually gonna turn 5 this weekend, and that's actually when we're gonna get married." And when she told me that before, I was like, "That's like a long time," because she was like 1, I think, But I never felt like rushed or anything, Had nobody rushing me either. Sandy had some people sometimes jokingly like rush him like, "Oh, when you're gonna propose," and stuff like that, But it was never like a big issue like that for us.
But talking about challenges as well, if we're being honest, like we're not perfect. There was a point where we were separated for like a few months. I think 7 months.
Oh, I didn't talk about that. That's interesting. Yeah.
No, I know, but it's just it's when you are going through a relationship, you have to understand that there's challenges,
Right.
and this challenge was one that was very difficult, for both of us, but it's one that thank God we both overcame, through prayer and patience, and love, So I guess just for anybody watching out there, it's just know that, there's always gonna be bumps on the road, it's like Rocky says, it's not,
Right.
how hard you get hit, it's how, how many times you get back up, So I think that's, I guess one of the challenges that we did face
All right.
Yeah.
that we overcame. But yeah.
All right. I'm gonna put you guys in trouble. Something he does that you hate, and then
That he does? Oh my
Yeah.
God, so many.
I said just one. I didn't say give
So
me like
many.
1,000. Just one.
I don't know. Let me see.
We got a question from Anna.
Okay, so I'll say
So we got a
something.
question from Anna. So we're gonna ask Anna. We're gonna ask a question in a minute. Yeah.
I'll say something that I hate that she does is leave garbage in my car.
Give her a broom, man.
Bro. A vacuum, man.
You do so many
Something
things.
that-
She can't even say what you.
That means she
There's
loves
so
everything
many-
about me.
No, there's so many things that I don't like that he does. One thing I don't like is that he will say something now and then later on he says something else. It's not about like big things, obviously not. It's just about
little
like
things.
maybe going somewhere or just doing something minor. He would tell me like, "Oh, let's go to the gym," and then 2 minutes later he's like, "Oh, I'm tired. I don't want to go," And then he's like, "But let's go." He drives me nuts.
You gotta start going to the gym, man. That thing has been thing at the workplace for a long time. You
I was
gotta
playing
go-
volleyball today, so that's the gym enough.
You gotta go to the gym, man.
He's messing up my.
I went to the gym yesterday.
No, you didn't.
Okay, so let's do Anna's question. Anna says, First, Anna says God bless you, so this is good. I didn't know Anna knows God. Anna says God bless you. Then she says, can we know how he proposed? So I guess that's the question.
Okay. You can go and say it.
So my initial plan to propose was gonna be in DR, but because of COVID, we couldn't do it. We had to cancel our plans because traveling was
I didn't know that.
canceled.
Right.
So I had planned something else. I planned to do it at my brother's house. I asked them. They said okay. And then I told them we were going to a celebration of my brother's mother. I have two brothers, by the way.
Your twin brother and then another brother.
And so I drove her. I kind of made that mistake of driving her and, telling her to wear a nice dress and me. So she
Wear
kind of
white.
already knew.
It was an all-white party, supposedly. And his mom came wearing black.
She was wearing white and black.
No. Like, okay.
It was cold.
Hint, hint.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's that. It was short. I planned it with a few of my friends. They helped me set up. My sister-in-law, she set up the decorations in her house, and I bought a few things. And then that's when I
Invited my family, a few friends.
I spoke to her family, spoke to my family, those who can make it, and that's when I ended up proposing. I wish I would have done a different way, but I cried. I didn't think I was gonna cry, but
Very much.
I was a little embarrassed. I was very embarrassed because I was crying. She didn't cry, by the way.
I guess it was hard for me to get my emotions out at the moment.
Wait, you didn't cry?
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
You gotta be kidding me.
I cried a lot.
You should put like
I
some
had a few tears. I had a
icy
few
hot
tears.
on your eyes or something.
I
to
had a
cry.
few tears, but he was like,
I couldn't. I was so
he
embarrassed.
couldn't talk. That's how bad it was.
Talk.
Hey,
That's
Anna,
love.
I hope you answered the question. Did you, well, he drove you, so did you have like a little idea? Trying to get tips.
Let
So
me
when I do
tell
mine,
you.
I know.
She
Let me
saw the
tell you.
ring.
Oh, that's another thing. Let me tell you, that day when I woke up, I was taking a shower and I'm like, I don't know, something came to me. I felt like something was gonna happen that day. Like I just felt it. I don't know. But, And then my family left to another party, all dressed up nice. And I'm like, that was kind of sketchy. But, yeah.
She knew. Something
Alright.
she knew.
We're gonna do another one in DR, right? We're gonna do a better one, bigger one. This is a real wedding, so this is better. This one everybody knows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, that's right.
That's a question here. I lost the question. All right. So, I guess 5 minutes more. Take 5 minutes with that time. Wedding planning. So you guys are getting married in 2 months.
Yes.
What is your advice to young people out there who are going to get into that stage?
Save
The
money.
pressure. Oh, that's a good
I
one.
think-
We'll start from there.
Yeah, so when we decided to get married, we both decided to create a savings account together, and we would put money every month
And we
in that
actually,
account.
and we actually started saving money even before he proposed.
Yes,
We were already saving money.
because we already knew that once that our plan was to get married. So when we don't make a lot of money, so we gotta start saving now.
You're making a lot of money now, man.
Yeah,
Don't let me start.
it's temporarily.
Yeah, until they decide to close it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got ready, man. We said we're gonna save money now, and you have to be ready for rainy days too. It's like it's not just about financials, but it does play a big part. I would advise if you want to have a nice dream wedding and you believe that you can afford it, then go for it. Because at the end of the day, money comes and goes. So that's my advice for the financial part. But try to save as much as you can, and don't always spend too much trying to impress other people. Just make sure that it's what you want. It's what you need, what you deserve. Because that one day. Your guests are gonna enjoy it more than you are probably. So make sure it's what your vision is like. That's just the comment on financials.
Right.
And I'll say, don't rush it, the plan if you're dating should be that you're gonna get married, right? At least that's what we think in church, right? Because your time is gonna come, you know. And God's timing is perfect. You know, we could have been married before, or maybe not. You know, that's not how God planned it. He planned it for now.
Yeah.
For now, exactly now. And before he proposed, I never was like, you know, my other friends were getting married before me. I never felt rushed or anything, you know, because I was at peace. I was like, you know, it's gonna come whenever God wants to come. Another thing that I was gonna say was what? Yeah, you know, like if you can afford certain things for your wedding, go ahead and do it. You know, there's gonna be people that are gonna tell you so many different things, like, oh, spend more money on that, or some other people like, don't spend that much money, just, you know, take the money for yourselves. But at the end of the day, you make the decision. What is it that you guys want? You know, what's gonna make you guys happy?
Right.
You know, everyone's gonna have their opinions, but you always stick to what you want.
Great. Says God's timing is the best. We love you. Just so many people love you, man. You guys gotta come back to the studio after the wedding. We're gonna come back. Then we're gonna talk about what happened in DR.
Oh, so we're gonna have to come from Philly. Remember?
Yeah. I'm gonna bring you back. He's a good. He can drive. He's a good driver.
He'll give us a ride back.
We could do it from our house.
He drives all the way to what the hell is the psych center and thing on Long Island?
Oh yeah, Amityville.
He drives all the way there, so he's a good driver.
Far, man.
Yeah, but says God's timing is the best. It says yes, we love you guys. Somebody says I wish you well.
Thank you.
Okay, we're closing since you guys were late, but
I wasn't late. The car died.
Yeah, guys.
Okay, the car was dead.
died.
no. So he said something. All my Dominicans watching. He said.
Okay, that was joking.
No, but it's true though. It's true.
That doesn't apply to me, by the way.
It doesn't, but it
What he
applies
said
to me and
was
my
that
people.
Dominicans are always late, and that doesn't apply to me. I'm always.
I gotta represent my Dominicans. We
We
gotta
gotta check
be
out the
late.
weddings if she's gonna come late or not, right?
Right,
Let's see
yeah.
if she's gonna arrive late or not.
Well, that's different. I hope not.
You're not Dominican if you're not late.
All right. So, final words to your viewers, your listeners. You know what? Let me check what's up now on YouTube. Viewers, your listeners, anybody watching.
What happened?
Your
What's
final
up,
words.
final words?
Whatever you want to say to people, any advice you want to give to young people in a relationship coming up, and everything we've spoken about.
Well.
No, let me do that. This question came through WhatsApp. I didn't ask it. Where do you see it? I think you want to say where. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? I'm guessing as a couple. So let's do that, then we'll do the final question.
The next 10 years.
That's what, 2031?
So by that time.
Well, you're going to be a doctor.
Yeah, I'm going to be a doctor, hopefully, by that time. Hopefully, we can have a
Maybe,
house by that time, too. And kids, obviously. What else? Also, we, you know, as a couple, before we even got engaged, or after we got engaged, you know, we said that after we got married, you know, we really wanted it to be part of the church as a married couple, you know, and just encourage other people, tell them our story, you know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the next 10 years, hopefully, God willing, I still see myself married to this beautiful young lady. You know, but not just married, but something I've spoken to her about. It's I want to be able for us to learn more and grow more in this whole marriage, you know, topic, so we can also help others along the way who maybe are struggling, you know, with their marriage. You know, I want to be able to give, you know, talks to married couples or give retreats to married couples, you know, who need it. But for that, you know, we still need to learn and grow more and have a little bit more experience.
Cool. So then we will have to, you know, bring you back when you guys are married, and then come and give us more advice. Use this platform to do. And one of the things we're talking about at work, who's the boss? Well, no, you gotta listen to the man, right? And you guys are like, you guys don't agree about that?
Oh, well, you were saying something else.
Yes.
You said I gotta be submissive.
That's what the right?
Okay. You know, we also believe that in our church also, but not like that.
Like how? How
know.
do you explain it?
Well, I don't know, because you were talking about it as in like he's always, you know,
He's
always
that.
have to
No,
be
so the
submissive.
point was the Bible says the lady submit to to the husband, as the husband submits to Jesus or the father, as you know. So there's a whole hierarchy, and your point was.
No, I agree with that. But you were taking it, to a whole level that I don't
About
even
the man in
remember.
the house, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that, you know, I'm not a marriage expert, all right? I don't know how much time we have, but I'm not a marriage expert, you know. But I believe that we should, listen to each other, you know. There's a lot of things that she's better at than I am. And there's a lot of things that I'm better at than she is.
So many of it.
You know.
All right.
So we work together, as a couple, right? So we listen to each other.
Right.
It's not who listens to who, If I'm better at this, she's gonna listen to me. If she's better at that, I'm gonna listen to her, And
It's not just because he's the man, that's how we're doing things,
and like I know, in the back in the days, it was real like that, where the man is the man of the house and he provides financially for his family, and the woman is at home and she cooks and she cleans, but I think that nowadays things have changed, I think with how we, what we're seeing today in society, with the youth, a lot of, depression or gangs and violence. I believe that it doesn't matter who's the head of the house. I think it's more important, or who makes more. I think it's more important, what values we're teaching our kids. What morals are we teaching them? How are we bringing them up? Are we giving them our time? Our love. Are we dedicating ourselves to our kids and to each other? Are we being good examples, not just to our kids, but to, other couples and other kids, out there? So I think that's more important, financials, regardless, if I make more or she makes more, it belongs to the house, it belongs to us. So I think the man and the woman in the house, we're side by side, it works like that. But that's my opinion. That's what I believe.
I agree. My father came online. My father says, you met my dad?
Yeah, I met
you
your
met
dad.
Wait, was she there the other day?
No,
I don't think she was
I
there.
haven't met your dad.
You're too new, man. You gotta be old. My dad says, congratulations to you both in advance. Much so in Tree, you remember something about Tree? In Tree, Adom means grace. So he says much Adom to you all, which means the much grace to you all. Right?
Oh, thank you.
So
Thank you, Dad.
wish you the best as well. Thank you for joining us. If you watched online, if you watch on Facebook, a lot of comments coming in. Candace says thank you very much as well, and congratulations to you. A lot of congratulations. Anna put some smiley faces and stuff. Juliana again says side by side. You guys gotta be side by side. So it's a lot of comments coming from what you said and what you spoke about.
Yeah, always side by side.
It's a good thing. So, you want to say final words before we leave?
First, because before I forgot what
All right, I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna try to keep it short. When it comes to relationships, you can achieve anything you put your mind to. Everything that you do, you have to communicate. I think communication is key. So as a couple, we share, our values and our ideas and our future goals, and I think that's what helps us, grow and live together. So I think if you work towards your goal, and you find a girl or a man that you really think that you like, then pray about it. Ask God about it. Talk to her about it. And see what you guys share in common. And don't let society decide, who you're gonna date or who you should date. Because you don't only find people in church. You can find somebody else who's not in church and bring them into the church. But overall, I truly believe that relationships is something, very, and marriage something that's very sacred that, we should all teach, as parents, parents out there, and the church as well, teach our kids and our teens on how to value marriage, because that's what's going to keep us going. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Overall.
Miss Joanna, I don't think you can top that, but try.
I tell you,
You're the medical student, so.
What I would say is, like, if you're already dating who you think is your, the right person, even if they're not from church, like Sandy said, I've seen some amazing couples that they don't really go to church like that. And they're like really good examples. And like they have a really good relationship and marriage. Anything is possible. But the ideal thing is that you have God in the center of your relationship. The other thing I would say is, right, if you're dating that person already, I would say just stay focused, I've had a lot of people tell me like, oh, why are you getting married? You're so young, whatever, still live your life, do this, do that. But, this is the man that God put in my path, and he's calling us both to, get married and, live this marriage life together. And when you marry someone, you're not just marrying that person, you're making a commitment with God, So that day, we're going to get married to each other and also to God because, he's going to be part of that, that day and every day, So just stay focused, value your relationships and pray together. That's very important.
Hey, goodbye to my pain, y'all. Goodbye to my trouble. Goodbye to my trouble. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us on Youth Awake. It's been a wonderful time with Sandy and Johanna.
Yeah, so long. Yeah.
So we'll see you guys again
So long.
next Thursday, same time.
Yeah, so long. Come on,
Thank you all for watching and God bless you.
I can hear you say. I can hear you say. I can hear you say. Goodbye to my trouble. Goodbye to my pain, y'all. Goodbye, y'all. Everybody raise it up. You are the God of miracles, say it. You are the God of miracles. You are the God of wonders. You are the God of wonders. You are the God of powerful. You are the God of power. I believe, say it. I believe. I believe. I believe. Say it, say I believe. I believe. I believe, say it. I believe. Say it, y'all. I believe. I believe. So long. Hey, so long. Yeah, so long. Goodbye to my trouble. Goodbye to my pain, y'all. Somebody wave me bye-bye. Somebody wave me bye-bye. You ain't welcome here. You ain't welcome here. Goodbye to my trouble. Goodbye to my pain, y'all. I can't hear you up there.